This is Craig Friedberg. You're listening to Attorneys Forum, and with me is Alan Woodman of Sidekick Publications. Mr. Woodman, his publications and his knowledge are, I have found out over the last 3 segments, vast when it comes to martial arts. And Mr. Woodman also, through his Sidekick Publications, has published quite a few DVDs. Are these instructional DVDs, or
yeah, actually,
tell us about them?
Well, some of the books and DVDs that we published have been, of course, what most people know me for is an art called Hojo Jitsu, which is an art that uses...
Hojo, not Howard Johnson.
No, not Howard Johnson,
okay,
but
right.
Hojo Jitsu. I know it sounds like Japanese pole dancing from what I understand, but it's not. Hojo Jitsu actually is an art that dates way back about 600 years ago into the samurai class of Japan. And they use flexible weapons like ropes, cords, belts, any string, any flexible type of weapon to subdue and sublimate and tie your opponent like instantaneously. So that's something that I'm really well known for because I'm the only person that's ever written a book in English on this subject.
Okay.
I lived for over 20 years in Japan, studied there extensively, and as well as here in the United States, and I picked up a few techniques from this person, a few techniques from this person, and then ended up, I was in Japan during the earthquake in 2011, where my apartment collapsed and decided I should leave the country. So I left. And I didn't.
You didn't move to California, right?
I'm okay.
You didn't move to California, though, right?
No, actually,
Okay.
I moved to Pennsylvania.
Okay. Yeah, they don't have that many earthquakes in
No,
Pennsylvania.
no, never, not that.
I grew up in Philadelphia.
Not
so.
that. Oh, yeah, there you go. So, so it was kind of interesting that I'm known for that. So you can look up Hojo Jitsu, the art of tying your enemy, as well as book 2, which is Hojo Jitsu, the binding art. And there's DVDs that are also Masterclass Hojo Jitsu Volume 1 and Volume 2. But we cover other arts, Sandokan knife fighting with Les Kersnowski, the authority of knife fighting, his books and DVDs also. And we have a series of 3 DVDs with him. James Valenti Santi, Sifu Santi, who's in Mexico. Amazing kung fu instructor, herbalist, Chinese doctor, runs both in the United States and Mexico legally as a Chinese herbal medicine shop and teaches kung fu. We have his DVDs as well. We're working on a Bagua kung fu book of his. So we try to kind of run the gamut. I've been involved in martial arts for probably 40 years. And growing up in Japan as a kid and growing back as an adult and just being involved, I actually trained with Bruce Lee's teacher, Ip Chun.
Really?
Yes, really. Yeah.
Because there's only been, I think, 5 movies on.
Well, that's Ip Man.
Oh, Ip Man.
And his eldest son, Ip Chun, is the one who I trained with.
Right.
Ip Man was there, but he was later on in his age, he was dying of cancer. So a lot of times he sat on the side, and Ip Chun, his eldest son, would actually be the hands-on person with Bruce Lee most of the time, him and Wong Chun-Lung. So I got to train with him and Sam Kwok and in doing Wing Chun. So we have some material on that, and just try to run the gambit with all kinds of stuff. And
now, are these how-to videos, or are they just
they're step-by-step instructional DVDs. So you can go and learn a technique and practice it over and over again, rewind and replay, which is really good, and so that works out really well. And they're all available on Amazon or Barnes and Nobles. You can go on there and just
All right, so when they go on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, what do they put in the search engine to find your catalog of
Alan
books?
Woodman, ALLENWOODMAN, or Sidekick Publications and Sidekick, publications, and just look up martial art books, and trust me, we have 40 titles, so you can pick them out. Yeah.
Okay, now, you said you've also had your own school.
I had schools in the past.
That's what I meant.
Currently do not have a school.
Right, but you've had...
I've had several schools, 8 at one point.
Oh, all right. And one of the things that we've kind of alluded to, but I wanted to delve into a little bit more, is that martial arts is a lot more than just physically learning the forms. At least the good ones are.
History, culture, balance, self-confidence, self-worth, self-understanding. It's really all about self. One of the best things I can tell you is the founder of karate, modern day karate, Gichin Funakoshi, has 5 rules that he says. And the very first rule, don't worry about the other rules, or learn what those are too. But the very first rule he says, so the very first rule is Hitatsu Jinkaku Kansei ni Shito Morikoto, which means seek perfection of character. It means seek perfection within yourself first. Exclude everything else. So just work on you. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Don't worry about, what everybody else knows or doesn't know. Just work on you, So that's always led me in my life. That's what I...
Is it hard, though, to try to keep your students, when you did have a school, from just, comparing themselves to everybody else? And then getting down on themselves if they don't compare to everybody else?
Well, again, it goes back to what we were originally talking about at the beginning of the show, which was that it's an individualist kind of activity. So it always goes down to the individual. And if you have a really good instructor at a really good school and you're taking a really good art, then there's no reason you can't excel. Or there's none. The only thing holding you back is you.
Right.
If you're given the right tools, and I think that goes true with any medium that you want to work in. But having the right tools allows you to go forward and push forward and advance. And in martial arts, more so, because you see it physically. Because when somebody first takes martial arts, they don't know how to kick. They don't know how to punch right. But it's what you develop over time.
Right.
Right.
And one of the things that I, had personal experience in was the schools that are out there to really develop and be a part of the community. And there were some schools for younger students who may have learning disabilities or
Yes.
other problems,
I've taught
behavioral
students.
problems.
I've taught students with disabilities, ADHD or autism.
Right.
We've done that. I was actually one of the head people at the YMCA for the martial arts department there in Philadelphia,
Right.
in Doylestown. And we had many of those children pass through our doors, and they excelled in martial arts because it taught them how to focus,
Right.
taught them how to concentrate. So it's fantastic for everybody, women, children, people with special needs. Doesn't matter.
Right, I was going to say, so
Elderly. Yeah.
So just because you think that there may be some physical or emotional or psychological reason why you can't do this, don't
No,
go there.
there's a way over it.
Right.
There's a
right.
way over it.
If you find the right school and the right people to help you,
That's right.
you can do this. And I urge that for no matter what hobby you want to get into, is that there's almost always a way to take care of those problems that anyone perceives they can have. And especially in this country, there's the ADA, which is an act that was passed by Congress many years ago, which basically says that even those people that have some disabilities have to have accommodations.
Yes.
You can't just
You can't discriminate and say
Discriminate,
you can't
and you
do
can't
it
push
because
them
you
aside.
physically can't. You're not able to point your toe this way, so therefore you're not able to do it.
Right.
And
Right.
there's got to be some accommodation. For
Right.
That, so.
And so that's one of those things that is also very important there.
Yes.
I want to thank you very much. Unfortunately, as we say, this is Attorneys Forum. Our usual co-host with me is Carl Mullen. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties today, and so we weren't able to include him in. But I want to thank Alan Woodman.
okay.
Yeah, for staying here for the
Yeah, no,
entire
thanks for having
4
me.
segments.
Thanks
I
for
really
having me.
appreciate it,
No, thanks for having
and it's been wonderful. Again, my name is Craig Friedberg. I'm a consumer protection attorney here in Las Vegas. You can get a hold of me at cbfriedberg@justice.com or at 702-435-7968. You don't have to remember the number. It's just 702-HELP-YOU. And for those that want to get a hold of you,
Just Sensei Alan Woodman at yahoo.com. Contact me 619-823-8819 anytime you want, or go on to Facebook. I'm there. I'm 7 pages there. Figure it out.
it's been a pleasure. Thank you very
Thank you very
much.
much.
Have a good afternoon. We'll see you next time.
All right.